Hello, my friends. Jose Salazar here with High Performance Coaching and Consulting, where we bring you videos to help you gain mastery of your life. This week, we're finished up talking about intention. Last week, we talked about intention as an empowerment tool. And if you did not get a chance to see that video, the link for it can be found below in the description. Which, by the way, is the perfect timing for me to remind you to go ahead and hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss out on any of the videos that are coming out. And of course, please go ahead and hit that like button. So this week, we're going to be talking about living in harmony with your intention. See, what we want to do is we want to make sure that the daily current of our lives is helping us to be able to more directly, distinctively, and powerfully move us in the direction of where we want to go. And today, we're going to be looking at being able to move with the flow and also not to be going what we call or paddling upstream. See, because when we are putting ourselves in limiting thoughts and thinking of all the things that can go against us, we're basically paddling upstream. When you're in the current of your flow and you're doing things and you feel good about things, you're paddling downstream, where you're going with the current with the flow. And that's what we want to always be doing. But we, time and time again, continuously seem to go upstream. You know, it's much harder to paddle upstream, but yet we continue to do that and make it much more difficult for us. All right, so I want to go over with you a couple of things to remember so that you can try to live in harmony with your intention. The first thing that you want to remember is you want to release the resistance to the current circumstance in your life. Remember, no matter what is going on, it is neutral. You label it. If something is bad, you've labeled it as bad. See, you have the ability to make things like being bad or being good. Things could be challenging, but it is what your thoughts about the situation that's going on that define the direction that you're going to be going on. So there is no doubt that we all have some very challenging circumstances and some things that are very difficult, right? However, we need to make sure that we stay focused so that we continue to find the good in things. Because one of the things for sure, that there is nothing in life that doesn't have some type of blessing in it. Now, sometimes it's hard to find that or hard to believe it, and it might take a long time to actually come to that realization, right? But it's somewhere in there, all right? But we just have to make sure that we are able to work through that and realize that the challenging times that we're going through is something that, you know, you will be able to overcome, because you're not going to be faced with a challenge that you're not able to handle, believe it or not. So remember that the work that you want to do is stuff that's going to help keep you in the flow of the good. Now, once you release the things that are holding you back or the conditions in your current life, you also need to notice what you're noticing. What I mean by that is when you start noticing things that are providing you with constricting or limiting thoughts, you need to be able to realize that that's going on, and you need to be able to stop them and change the flow. So you have to be able to change the flow so that it will be more in alignment with your intention. And again, that's something that has to be done constantly. But the first thing is you have to recognize it. When you start seeing, this is not the way that I should be thinking, or this is not the way things should be going, we need to be able to stop that and redirect our thoughts. So you want to make sure that you're shaping what we call your inward thinking so that it's in harmony with your intention. The next thing is you want to recognize the gap. See, when you have an intention, you want a goal, or you want to accomplish something, you need to be able to look at what that goal is, or what that vision or dream is, and where you are now. And you want to picture yourself, what would it be like to be in the life of that dream or that goal that you have? So for example, if you find yourself that you want to be financially independent, you need to go ahead and think of yourself being financially independent. How would that feel? How would you live your life? Because when you start thinking that way, slowly but surely, what you're doing is you're changing your thoughts. All right? You're getting rid of the existing beliefs that you can't do things. And you have to continuously be reminding yourself when something is not going your way, or you feel, again, those thoughts that are constricting, you need to stop that and change them in the next direction, right? Because that'll give you a little bit more power for you to be able to be more deliberate and be able to continue on your journey. The next thing that you want to do is to make sure that you are able to differentiate between fact and truth. See, a fact does not determine your future or who you are. So things that have happened in the past or things that you're going through right now, they're facts. So for example, you have this much money in a checking account. That's a fact. You live in a certain type of house. That's a fact, right? You might have a certain type of medical condition. That's a fact. Those things can't be changed, right? But what you think about the facts is something that you have control, right? You don't want to deny the facts. You don't want to deny the conditions or circumstances that you're in. But what you want to deny is the power that the facts have to try to define you or to dictate your future. What do I mean by that? If you tried a couple of businesses in the past and they were not successful, that does not mean that you're not going to be successful in the future. But if you limit your thoughts and say, oh, I've tried this before and it's not going to work, then that's the intention that you're putting. So even though you're saying that I want to be a successful business person, you're putting the thoughts that you can't because you're going back on your past experience. Remember, the past is not an indication of our future. Right? Past things that happened in our past, right, are things that we can learn from, right, and realize that that happened, and it doesn't mean it's going to happen again. It's the same thing when if you've done something and it's not the right thing, or you know that this is not who you are. Well, then don't let what happened define who you are. Show who you really are, right, by looking at the future differently and not reverting back to those limiting thoughts. And with that, my next thing is to remember the truth. Okay? The truth is that you are an unlimited spiritual being, means that you are a being of the universe. What does that mean? That means that you cannot be constricted, okay, or defined by your past. You have an unlimited capacity to change things that you want to do, right? Again, you got to recognize that you cannot be constricted, you cannot be stopped unless you constrict yourself or you're stopped. So the first thing that you got to do is change your thoughts. And with that, the last thing is put your life in harmony with your intention, right? So if your intention is to be a successful business person, go ahead and think and feel like that successful business person, right? If you want to go ahead and get a college degree, you want to get some, think about yourself. What would a person with a college degree be doing? What would they feel? How would they feel? And feel that way. Walk around like you got that degree. You want to be financially free? Walk around, act like you are. Because once you start doing that, you start being more in the flow of what your intention is. And you'll be surprised how that way you'll be able to start coming up with ideas on how you can continue to move in that direction. But if you decide to fall upstream and start paddling upstream and saying, I can't do this, this is not going to work for me, and come up with all the excuses, that's where your intention is not going to be able to come through no matter what you say. So you got to feel, you got to live your intention. That's the most important thing. You want to create a vibrational match that you are able to continue and bring you to live that intention that you have. So remember, it's important for you to release the resistance of the presence of your current life. You want to notice what you're noticing. So when those thoughts are coming back that are constricting or preventing you from moving forward, you got to be able to stop them and change the direction. Recognize the gap of where you are now and where you want to be. You want to be thinking more and feel like where you are is not the place that you want to be, correct? So you want to go ahead and make sure that you're thinking, imagine yourself where it is that you want to be. Okay? And that way you'll start thinking in that mindset of moving in that direction. Remember to distinguish what the facts are and the truth, right? You cannot change the facts, but you can definitely change how you feel about the facts, right? This is the same reason when you say, well, there's no way I can forgive someone for something. Yes, you can. It's whether or not you want to, right? So my friends, remember, it's important that you try to live in harmony with what your intentions are. If you just talk about them and you say, but you don't commit to them, then you're not going to be able to accomplish those intentions. Right? Remember that you are far greater, far more powerful than any current condition, situation, or circumstance that you're living with right now. And as I said before, remember that you are your only obstacle to your success. With that, my friends, don't forget to please go ahead and hit the like button. And if you haven't done so, like I said before, please go ahead and subscribe. And please feel free to share with me any comments that you have. With that, have a great day and talk to you soon.